Hey guys, welcome to Hillbilly Smash, round 3, Mideast 2024, and we're straight into it, right off the start here. Didn't get the best start, my bike really didn't start immediately off the line for some reason, but it's okay, it wasn't too bad. Look at this line here my buddy Kane takes, he just goes straight over the hill. That was pretty bold. I like it though. But yeah, back at Hillbilly Smash, this is our third time racing here. And they actually did add quite a bit this time, a whole new section on the other side of the property, which is pretty interesting to see. But I gotta say, with this being my third time racing here, I think I've come to the conclusion that I just don't like this track. And it's not so much the part that you're seeing now, and it's not even the new part they added. I actually really like the new part, but there's one specific section, and a lot of the people that have raced here are going to immediately know what I'm talking about, that I just do not like, and I feel like it ruins the entire track. And for whatever reason, they just keep it in. So I'll point it out when it comes up. But anyway, weather was nice, which was good. It had rained a little bit the week before, but not so much that it was slick and muddy, so that was nice. Although there was some slickness, especially on this first lap, and I'll talk about that when it comes up here in a minute. But overall, it wasn't bad at all. Pretty good day. So here's the part where we go to the new area. So normally in the past we would have gone left there and back around into the woods, but here we crossed over the creek, and this is an entirely new side of the property. I will say I actually really enjoyed this new addition. I feel like it was excellent. You'll notice here on this first lap it was a little slick, and I'm guessing that just might have been because after the rain this side of the property was a little more shaded than the other side maybe or something. It just didn't dry out as much. But honestly, after the first lap, it was fine. Doing a good job there keeping the lens clear, which is rare for me. So coming up here, we can start to see there's some guys piled up on each other, and I immediately knew something was going on. And it's this little hill right here. It's kind of like this off-camber turn. It honestly wasn't that bad, but of course some of the less experienced riders didn't know how to handle it. And honestly, when I was trying to creep through it, it got me a little bit, but you can see it's a bit of chaos going on. Some guys were trying to take the high line, and some were making it. My buddy Sean there in the green just managed to sneak by right before this happened. You can see some guys are managing to take the high line and make it through. I didn't want to risk it where I was at, because I thought for sure I was just going to slide down to the left. Probably should have risked it, especially this early in the race, but you can see there that what happened to that guy. It was a pretty slick area. So I finally get a clear shot, and I come creeping through, and of course my bike slides out behind me a little bit too. There's my buddy Adrian in front of me. Managed to loop around him easily. And finally got going after like what felt like ages. But yeah, that was the only really bad spot. And like I said, not really that bad. It was just more of people not knowing what to do or how to handle that sort of terrain, and kind of blocking the way for others. When you come up on bottlenecks like that, it's always a 50-50 whether or not you should just kind of wait for it to clear up, or if you should try to carve a new path to get around it. And either one can bite you. If you wait, sometimes you can end up waiting forever, or other times you end up trying to carve a new path and you end up taking longer than it would have taken to just wait for it to clear up. So I never know what to do in those situations. This time I decided to take the easy approach and not wear myself out, and I think it paid off mostly. Gear down, Cole. I don't know what I was doing there, but yeah, this time it paid off. Well, I don't know if it paid off. It wasn't the worst option, I guess. It wasn't as bad as it could have been. You know what I mean. Dang, gear down. What am I doing? I guess I just want to replace that clutch early. Just abuse the crap out of it. Yeah, I know I'm pretty late posting this video. I've been slacking on doing the videos, and it's not so much the editing as it is just me not wanting to record the voiceover. And I've contemplated just posting them without voiceovers, but I don't know. Now that I've started doing them, I feel like I can't go back to not doing them, if you know what I mean. But yeah, it's just me procrastinating on doing the voiceover, because I had the video edited probably the day after the race, and it's now 2-ish weeks later, or coming up on 2 weeks later. Now just now we're getting around to recording the voiceover. This part here coming into the woods, I think, was probably my favorite part of the new section. It was a cool area. I just liked it. No particular reason. It just felt like a cool area. Now, this is pretty cool right here too. They called it the OK Corral, but we had to come to this little fenced-in area. I don't know. It was a neat feature. I will say this turn right here was a little awkward, because you came down this hill and then you had to immediately take a hard right because there's a ditch right there that you couldn't go through. It wasn't like hard or anything, it just felt awkward the way it was laid out. So anyway, this brings us back around to where we were before we crossed over to the new side of the property. You can see the two bridges are right next to each other. And this is where, in the previous rounds, we would have just immediately turned left and went through here. So I actually like this section right here too. This is an older section, but it's just kind of like open woods. And I really like those guys pointed out a pretty sweet line for me there. Managed to get around that guy with it. So this area right here, I don't think it was exactly right here. I think it was a little further up, but this is where I wrecked. I think the first time, or maybe this is the second time. I don't remember. No, it was definitely the first time. The first time we raced this track, I wrecked like right here, pretty hard. Thankfully, that didn't happen today. Pretty wide open area there. But anyway, this is pretty much the start of what I don't like about this track, and it's this section right through here, and it's just, I don't like it. I think when they cut it, they just came through with a bobcat and just kind of like pushed everything out of the way. This beginning section of it's not too bad actually. But it just goes on for way too long, and it's like super monotonous and repetitive, and there's not a whole lot of room for passing, and it's just, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. It ruins this track for me. I wish they would take it out. I will say it has gotten a little better as it's been raced, and maybe it'll continue to get better. That guy kind of just cut me off. But yeah, maybe it'll continue to get better as time wears on, but as it is now, it's just, it's kind of tight. Well, it's not like bad tight, but it's like, it's hard to get around people in it, and it's rutted up, and there's a lot of roots, and the ground's just, it's soft. It's like a, I don't know, like a clay or something. So it ruts up real easy, and it gets slick, and yeah, I just don't like it. I don't like anything about this. And it really, honestly ruins this track for me. And the thing is, like, it goes on for so long, it feels like. I think there's quite a few people that would agree with me on that too. Good pass there. And now I've actually caught back up to my buddy Sean there in the green jersey. And I don't think I managed to get around him while we're still in this annoying section. Tried to see if I could sneak around him here, but couldn't quite make it. Probably would have worked if I would have been a little closer to him when we got to that section, but it's just kind of the way it goes. Tried to get in there and just didn't quite make it again. But anyway, I knew after this section coming up was a big open field section, so I figured I'd make a move then. But of course, everybody when they get into the open field, they all just immediately go full tilt. So I wasn't sure how it was going to work out for me. Here we go, and I get on it, and of course he does the same thing. Then he lets off a little early. I'm like, oh, here's my opportunity. But I forgot that this section right here is super rough, and I pretty much about died going through that. So yeah, now that we're past the section that I hate, the rest of this track is really enjoyable. Well, there's another smaller section that's pretty similar to that section that I don't like later on, but like this section here on this side of this hill, we go up and down this hill a few times, and it's fun. I really like it. Like everything else about this track is great. It's just that one long section right in the middle that I just cannot stand, and it ruins this track for me. This guy was really putting some pressure on that guy on the Suzuki in front of him. Yeah. I think it gets to him. Yeah, we get up here and he starts really laying on the revs, and the other guy just, you can hear him there yelling. And he just, whoop. Honestly, I know how he feels. I hate it when people start putting pressure on me. It makes me screw up every time. This tree branch right here was really low. Everybody complained about it. I don't think I hit my head on it once, but I came pretty close. These roots through this area were a little sketchy. There's those sprawling, like, spiderweb type roots that are just everywhere. Hear me there complaining about that hill. It's just slightly off camber with roots running through it. It always feels sketchy. On camera it looks like nothing. So this is the other section I was talking about that's kind of like the first section that I don't like. It's basically a little more the same, but it's not nearly as long. If the other section was as short as this, I probably wouldn't even complain about it. Try to take this outside line to see if I can get around these guys. This other guy did the same thing. Didn't quite work out for me though, because the guy that was right in front of me just barely managed to stay in front of me. Unfortunate. This guy right here stopped right in the line, so that was almost bad. Was luckily able to find another way around him. Now I really like this section here. It's not super tight, but it's a tighter section. But there's a few like alternate lines throughout, and it just feels really cool. I like it. If they replaced that bad section with more section like this right here, I'd probably love this track. I took this outside line here and it was terrible. There are a couple little tricky sections on the back side of this hill through here, and not really even tricky. There were just some roots that you had to be paying attention for, and throughout the day it caught quite a few people off guard. I think that was one of them. There was one there. I remember that. Yeah, they weren't bad. You just kind of had to pay attention. So now we're coming up towards the really tight area. It was at the beginning of the last time we raced this. But there's two choices. You go to the right and cross through the gully, or you can go to the left and kind of go around the gully. And I ended up getting stuck waiting behind people here for far too long. So I decided to cut it out of the video because it's literally just me waiting on people to get out of the way. It was a terrible move on my part. So yeah, we'll skip around that. I actually ended up having to go back and take the go around because people had fallen in the valley. But this is the really tight section that they put in the beginning of this track on the last round, and it became a huge bottleneck right at the beginning of the race. And of course, that wasn't the case since they put it at the end of the track this time, and I actually enjoyed it a lot more that way, so it made sense. It's not that tight, but there's definitely some, like, only a little wider than bar width squeezes through it. You had to be careful going down this hill right. Well, no, it's the next hill, I think. No, it's this hill. Yeah, it was slick. You see that guy spun around. This section here on, like, it's like a fire road or something, I don't know. But it's really fun, really fast. That turn sneaks up on you though. And this is the other spot that if you weren't careful, you could fall. I'm pretty sure that guy had a little taste of it there. On my second lap, I nearly overshot this bridge turn. Just wasn't paying attention. That guy came out of nowhere. So anyway, first lap is done, and I think I'm in like 11th place, and I was like, holy crap. That's crazy. Yeah, I was feeling pretty demotivated at that point just because of how far back I was in the class. But looking back at it, it's mostly because of the little bottleneck at the beginning of the new section where it's slick, and also the section at the end, like actually right here where we're at now, where I ended up waiting forever is what put me so far behind. Oh yeah, that go around got really dug out. It's kind of crazy. So we're coming back through the tight spot here. I'm pretty sure this is my third lap, I want to say. I know the camera didn't make it much further. I think that was Loretta I was saying hey to. The smooth road as an opportunity to get some water. Is this where I ever shoot? Yeah. See, I was like, whoa. I guess I just forgot it turned. I don't know. So I came through, scored on my 3rd lap, and they gave me the 2-lap placard, and I was like, there is no way. Spoiler, I was right. I only ended up doing 1 more lap. I got passed by the leaders about 3/4 way through the lap, though, so I almost stayed on the lead lap. Just barely didn't. So here was the hill climb, and this time they didn't have it right off the beginning of the track, but they did have it in after the 1st lap. Same as last year, wasn't really a challenge. Pretty easy hill climb, all things considered. That guy nearly died in that rut. So anyway, that's about where my camera died, so let's take a look at the results. So in the class, I was 9th out of 18. I guess that's not too bad, all things considered. Could have been worse, especially considering I was in 11th length with the race, so I did make some moves there at the end. Overall, 143 out of, I think it was at least 200. So, again, not bad. I'm happy with it. So, anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the next race. Thanks for watching.